maybe just, I don't know, Rob Stats Guerrera. Maybe you just enjoy it for what it is, and then let's keep it moving here. I know it's just the preseason, but I got to say, after what we witnessed with the Niners, can we just be happy that we have Brock Purdy? Can't we just, for the love of God, Rob Stats Guerrera, be happy?
What's with the hostility, Kay? It's Monday. It's football is back. Let's be happy.
It's such a testament of your work with the Gold Standard 49ers podcast. You are a very good friend of our show. We put that clip up on YouTube, nothing to do with you. And there's so many comments already. We have a brand new YouTube that are like, I love the stray at stats. I love the, because what you say resonates, and you are really, honestly, you're such a good voice for this community. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. We are excited football's back. And Trey Lance, the stat line wasn't bad, but he looked less than stellar yesterday, okay? After playing the entire first half, 10 to 15, 115 yards, a touchdown that should have been an interception, and we both know it. Near interception dropped, sacked 4 times. Were you expecting a better performance than he gave?
Yeah, he needed a better performance than that. He's trying to make his claim to be the starting quarterback. You know, he's fighting for the backup job. It didn't look good. Now, he did start slow, but he also finished pretty strong. Mm-hmm. You know, he finished, 8 of 11, I think, for, his last portion of the first half there. Mm-hmm. That was good. But he needs better than that if he's going to be the starting quarterback. And clearly that looks a long way away right now.
Yeah. You know when you have, like, a friend that's in, like, a toxic relationship, Stats, and you're like, oh, and you're, she hasn't called me in 3 days. Like, oh, that's weird. But she did, like, she liked my Instagram story. And it's like, oh, okay. It's like, she won't, like, her brother's in town and she won't let me meet him. Like, it's like, oh, but, like, you make a lot of excuses for Trey. No?
Look, he hasn't started and finished 2 straight games since 2019. Okay, it had been 329 days since he was last on a football field. He looked like a guy that, frankly, is really, really inexperienced. But guess what? He is really, really inexperienced. It's just, this is what it was going to look like. Now, Does he have work to do? Yes. But I don't think it was nearly as bad as some people have made it out to be.
I think that's fair. Now, Sam Darnold, not too shabby. He came in the third quarter, 5 for 8, 84 yards, including a 38-yard dot to a 7th-rounder named Ronnie Bell. Little sample size. What'd you make of Sam's debut?
I thought he was worse the longer he played. He was kind of the opposite of Trey Lance. Okay. He had that nice deep pass early, which looked good. But also, like, Sam Darnold has played 56 career games. Like, shouldn't he have looked like that? Or are we really surprised? The problem with Darnold isn't that he's not capable of making those throws like he made to Ronnie Bell. The problem is he also makes throws that make you want to smash your head against the wall. And we've seen it again and again and again. And I think Kyle Shanahan kind of protected him from himself yesterday by taking him out at the end of the third quarter because he was supposed to play most of the second half.
It's a really fair point. Like, why are we, I feel stupid for even saying he didn't look that bad. He has all of the experience in the world as an NFL starter that he should look even better than that, and he should have played longer. It's a great point. Will you be happy if this team has 13 wins and Trey doesn't play at all?
Do they win a Super Bowl?
I mean, let's say they make it to the Super Bowl without any action from Trey Lance.
Yeah, I mean, that's the standard for this team this year. Regardless of who the starter is, it's Super Bowl. They've made the NFC Championship game before, which is great, but they need to get over the hump. So whether it's Brock, Trey, or Sam, whoever they put in there has got to get to the Super Bowl. That is the standard for this team, and anything less than that will be a disappointment.
The gold standard.
Really? Like, that's how we're starting the year? That's the best you got?
I just gave you a shout out for your pod. Oh my gosh, I just shout out for your podcast. Jeez Louise. Okay, history shows us, my friend Stats, anything can happen throughout the season, and you need a solid backup plan. So assuming everything stays on track and Brock Purdy is the guy, are you going with Trey or Darnold, or what do you need to see to make up your mind, or where are you leaning? Obviously, you like Trey. Make the case.
I like Trey. I think all he needs is reps, but I don't think it's trending that way right now. And I think the 49ers look at it as we need a high floor for our backup quarterback. And right now, Sam Darnold looks like he has the higher floor. So I wouldn't be shocked at all if it was Brock Purdy 1 and Darnold 2, even though that would absolutely drive me nuts.
What do they do with Lance then?
Nothing this year. I mean, after last night's performance, I don't see a bunch of teams breaking down their door to try to trade for that guy. So I think they just hang on to him at QB3 and hope that he doesn't have to get in there.
Or you hope that nobody watched the actual game and they just look at the stat line and they're like, that's not that bad. That's pretty good. Let's give him a call. I don't know what to do. I think it's, I would be with your argument more if I didn't think it was a pretty easy path for the Niners. Like, do they need the high ceiling, volatile, do they need the Anthony Richardson experience up and down of a Trey Lance or do they need a high floor? Do they need a better Jimmy Garoppolo to get through the NFC and get to the Super Bowl?
They clearly think all they need is good enough. I think what that sort of kind of steady performance that you're talking about, I think that's good enough to get them back to the NFC Championship game this year. But I think history has shown to win a championship, not just get there, but to win, you do need a guy capable of making plays outside of the structure of the offense when things break down. Look at Jalen Hurts in last year's Super Bowl. It's hard to play better in the Super Bowl than Jalen Hurts played, and they still didn't win, even with a good running game, even with a good defense. So to me, if you don't have that kind of special at quarterback, you're not going to win a championship.
What's the trust level? Like, take the temperature of, obviously, the fans that are reacting to you, the media. What's the trust level in Shanahan and Lynch going through? Like, are we trusting they know what they're seeing? They know. I mean, with Brock Purdy, there's no way he can be healthy. They kind of knew, like, he was coming along, throwing that towel last time I talked to you months ago. How much trust does this team and their fans have in the leadership right now with this?
I think it's kind of like, yeah, we trust you, but it better go right this season. Like, you better be right. I think they've earned some of the benefit of the doubt by getting to 3 of the last 4 NFC Championship games. But also, the quarterback is the one spot that they just have not been able to get right. And so the winning earns them some equity. But again, it's the kind of thing where, like, you've got to get it done. Otherwise, this is going to go into year 8, and we're still going to be looking for a quarterback next year.
Lastly, is there any, that would be, the window, I mean, a lot of teams have that window thing happening, and here it is with the Niners, as loaded as they are. Hopefully they figure the Bosa thing out. What is something that you are paying attention to that you think isn't getting enough love on the national level? I know you cover all 32 teams, but you're so plugged in with the Niners. Is there somebody like a Ronnie Bell, a Davis Price that you want to put, on the menu for the interwebs this Monday?
Ty Davis-Price would be the guy.
Yeah.
He's gotten a ton of love throughout camp from Shanahan, from their run game coordinator, Chris Forrester. And it was nice to see him get on the field yesterday and actually live up to that, because we get a lot of training camp hero stories this time of year where somebody looks really good and then you see them actually play and they stink. That wasn't the case with Ty Davis-Price last night. He looked good. He looked decisive. He was elusive. And I don't think Elijah Mitchell's spot on this team is guaranteed by any stretch of the imagination. So if he keeps balling out, I do think it's possible he could be RB2 in San Francisco.
We love to see it. Stats, we appreciate you, all the work that you do. Everybody go check out the Gold Standard podcast. Try to give a little wink, a little shout out. You're going to use that in a promo. I know you are. You're going to clip it off, use it. I already see it happening. It's the Gold Standard podcast. Get all of your Niners info from you yourself and your co-host who completely roasted you on this Trey Lance thing, which I love to see. She was just having none of it. She was sick of it, and it was great.
Yeah, Michelle Maggio took me to task a little bit, but thank you so much, Kay. Anytime you need me, you know I'm here for you.
You're the best. I mean, what you're doing is working. I'm so happy for you, doing your own thing and being a great voice for that fan base that does have a window and want to waltz right back to the NFC Championship game.